happy, doing audio, but not music. And like, that's amazing. So I'm like glad for them. I know people who do music, but they really wrestle with not having the right amount of money or, because they have family to support. So I think you have to be very careful about knowing what's important to you. And then once you know what's important to you and what makes you happy, I don't think you should waste a single second worrying about, doing something else, because life is really short and there's no better way to live your life than doing what you're most passionate about. And it is very hard to ignore people that will tell you that it's not a real job or that you're not going to, make enough money and that you shouldn't do it. And honestly, I sometimes wish I would listen to my own advice, because what I would tell younger me is to write more and not worry about chasing the money as much as chasing the writing. Because I think if you sit down and you do the work will come. Or, if you sit down and you create, the work will come, because people can see what you do better. You're better able to show off what you do and who you are. You will establish a presence. And some of that other stuff is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the photos and the fancy videos and as long as you're really creating, you don't need to worry about, I haven't posted on social media today. You might be writing for the whole week. Who cares if there's no post from you, So just keep writing, I think. Just keep creating and focus on what makes you happy.
Yeah, I love it. It's super important words of wisdom, and making me think about stuff. And, it's like, I do also do some audio work to kind of help pay the bills, like, some podcast editing or whatever, the random stuff. And it's like, maybe if I took that time and spent it, dug a little harder into some, music creation, who knows, that could help push me forward, even though sure, it's paying the bills now, but maybe down the line, it's not as helpful, but who knows, but,
it's very hard.
Yeah. Everybody's it's very hard. It's a balance. Yeah. But you got to do the best you can to kind of, as long as you're keeping at it, I think eventually you get there. It just might be faster or slower.
There's no race though, other than the timeline that is unknown to each of us being human.
Right. That is true. Yeah. And it's true. Like a few years ago, I kind of like made a decision to be like, okay, just enjoy the process, because who cares if you're not there yet, or you might not get there, but like you just enjoy the, being on this ride of like getting better and working on the craft. And that's something that I'm still in right now of just like, when I get to produce with somebody, it's a gift, and hopefully I'm just enjoying it,
Yeah. Yeah. There's always more to learn. That's the joy of this path as well.
Lifelong learning seems to be very common among people that do what we do. So we picked a good bunch to be among.
Yeah, absolutely. Really lovely chatting with you.
Yeah.
It's been so cool.
So I'll definitely put links so people can find you in the show notes. And as soon as the book comes out, I'll promote it on WhatsApp, on Instagram. And I'll add it to the show notes whenever it goes live. Yeah. Depending on when this episode airs. I'm not 100% sure, but.
Okay. Yeah, it's June 15th.
June 15th. So we'll keep the listeners in the loop with your book, which is, just so I get it right, Conversations with Women in Music Production, the interviews by Kallie Marie. So people keep your eye out for that. It's coming out soon. And Kallie, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you. Appreciate what you're doing.
Likewise. Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Secret Sonics. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you've been digging the show, it would be awesome if you could share this episode or your favorite episode with a friend or two, and or leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher of choice. That's it for now. Have a great week. Take care and dig in. See you soon. Bye-bye.